is Bruno Sabatier, District 2 Supervisor. I am the Vice Chair, I believe, of this committee, and I am here in person. And next to me is
Harry Lyons. I am the Director of the Lake County Resource Conservation District.
Mary Jo Velasquez, I'm Vice President of the Lake County Land Trust and Director of the Resource Conservation District.
Pawan Bhatia, the County Water Resources Director and the Middle Creek Project Committee member.
And then, so that's all we have here with the committee. Supervisor Crandall should be here momentarily. Let's go ahead and introduce our other guests that are in the room.
Angela Comandao, Executive Director of Land Trust.
And then I can't really see let me put on my glasses, that might probably help. Betsy, if you want to introduce yourself.
Good morning. Yeah, this is Betsy Kahn from the Essential Public Information Center. Thank you.
Thank you. Daniela?
Daniela Santana, Environmental Director for the Hub of Metopomo Beverly.
Thank you. Terry?
Good morning, Terry Logs, and Chief Climate Resiliency Officer and Tribal Liaison for the County of Lake.
Okay, thank you. Holly?
Holly Harris, Clear Lake Oaks resident.
Thank you, Holly. Lucy?
So she's our
Yeah.
office support.
I put her on the spot.
Yeah.
Lucy is our organizer of these meetings, our agenda, and our meeting minutes. Thank you for always helping out, Lucy. I don't know if there's anybody else. That's all that I see on the, is there anyone else, Paul?
No, I think that's all.
Okay. If I missed anybody, please shout, introduce yourself.
Angela Amaral, member of the public. Thank you, Bruno.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and move on. Consideration of items not appearing on the posted agenda. I know that there's a reason why Holly Harris is here today. She did email us. I think we can probably interact with her email in one of these items that we have on our agenda and make that work. Rather than asking for an extra item, especially since extra items are typically more urgent needs that need to be dealt with prior to the next meeting. So we will talk about that, but we don't need to add it as an extra item.
And I think I have added something on the
7.2, right?
7.2, is it has to do something with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question though. There was a letter that was sent out to the committee and I don't see that listed in the agenda.
A letter from,
A draft letter asking about eminent domain.
That won't be on the agenda, but that's part of something,
There's just nothing mentioned in the agenda, so that's why maybe it should be added under.
I think it's under the discussion of non-willing sellers.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's where I think it goes, yeah, except it's not in the tab, yeah.
Okay. And it's not us to really,
Discuss it here.
I mean, it's an action, yes. But it's more of a process in order to how to communicate to the board supervisor. So we'll figure out how to make it work. We'll share the letter on the screen, we'll read through it, and that way everybody can be understanding of what it is that this body is trying to do. All right, let's move on. Board actions, approved minutes approved minutes from April 7th, 2025, Middle Creek Project Committee meeting. We have the meeting minutes in the notes or in the packet that we received. Any questions, comments, irregularities? It looked clean this time.
It did. Yay. Compliments for whoever did it.
Yes, yes. It was a mixture of tools and human eyes.
Nice too.
Are there any comments from the public on our meeting minutes? Raise your hand if you're in the Zoom room, if you wish to make a comment. If not, and I'm seeing none, then let's bring it back to this committee for action.
I move that we approve these minutes.
I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to item number 4, project area parcel acquisition. Updates and next steps with parcel acquisitions of willing settlers. 4.
Yeah.
Dr. Zapani.
Yeah. So I think this is the one we discussed in our last meeting. And the committee made a request that I gather the information parcel by parcel. So that was the status that was discussed in the last one, that pending approval to offer letter were four different entities. So there might be more parcels within that four. Re-engaging with property owners, 6, pending further direction, which is also the tribal property, 4 of them. Owner requesting higher compensation is 1, and then unresponsive, decline, and non-willing seller is 3. So now we have the further breakdowns in terms of APN. So even though it says like pending approval of 4, so those includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 11, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah,
I apologize. I should.
Yeah, that's fine.
I guess I was more excited than I should have been.
So these are the one which is under county council review. So we would be making offer on these, and in total, I think all these comes close to 3.2 million or something.
Okay.
And when we add the property equation and contingency, we should have enough if DWR allows us to move those funds out.
Okay.
So could we go back to the previous slide? So there's an overlap in this. So there's like, in each category, some belong to more than one category.
No, it's just like, because when it say four may be the property owners or 4 individuals,
Okay.
but within one might have like 2 parcels or 3 parcels.
Okay. And same thing with the other,
Yes.
re-engaging with property owners, the 6 might be 8 properties.
Yes.
It might be more than 8.
Yeah, and I have breakdown for all of them.
Okay.
So in that way, like we can see.
So right now we're at 10. When
10.
all of those are coming to the Board of Supervisors, they've already been appraised and approved by the Department of Water Resources for the appraisal.
Yes, but it has to come to the board of
Yes.
supervisor. Yes.
You're finalizing the documents to bring to. us.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So this is the second one, re-engaging with property owner. It does say 6, but it has only 7, so it's not a huge difference. So, and I'm thinking, you see, like there is a white line. I don't know whether you can see that or not in between those
Yeah.
APN numbers. So then those might be the 6 one, because in one you see there at the end is 2 of them. So
And you can see it by the spacing.
yes, yeah.
We got it.
Yeah. So, so this is for the re-engaging with property owners, we have distilleries down. And the next one is pending further direction, which is also the tribal properties out there. So in total, around 9.
26 total properties currently.
Yeah. But with the tribes, I think it's kind of a collaborative kind of thing. So maybe it's not counted towards acquisition, but maybe something, a different kind of arrangement.
Just a clarification, every single one of those APNs are owned by tribal, different tribes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we know if any of those are in current process of going fee to trust?
I think they are in different stages, but for most part, I think, so I think those are all the tribal parcels there, but some of them we have an agreement with, or like we are okay with, or we are in some step of saying, okay, this is how we're gonna proceed, kind of thing has been established.
And is that a conversation we're having with the Army Corps, depending on what the status is of those properties? Just because at one point or another, when we do the project, the idea is always we're supposed to give all properties to the federal government, right?
Yes.
Now, somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's in tribal trust, in a sense, it already is in the hands of the federal government. So therefore, it might be an easy process to, here's our properties and work with the properties the tribes have already placed into trust. If it's somewhere in the middle, I'd love to hear from Army Corps to better understand if it's fee with no process, or if it's in fee with a process to get it into trust, where are we at with those properties? That would be a question that I don't believe I have an answer to yet. But just would love to better understand that there's not gonna be a hurdle because of different status, of those properties.
Yeah, I can check a little bit more with the Army Corps about that and see like where we stand on that. But because I'm also relatively new to this project, so I don't know like what or where it was left at that point. But I'm sure it can be worked out something because I did heard something saying either we exchange some parcels or things like that. So there are multiple things, which we have to work out in order to make it work.
So you said on the first slide where it was just the numbers were the number of owners.
Yeah.
The pending further direction, is that just tribal? And what are the 4 tribes?
You mean which one?
The very first, when you didn't have any APNs, before you started with the APNs. There,
This one?
yeah, pending further direction, is that just the tribal?
Yes, this is also
So there are 4 tribes?
4 tribes.
What are the 4 tribes?
4 tribes who own the lands there.
That's what I'm asking, what are the 4? I guess Robinson,
Yeah.
Revitol, is Scott's, that,
Robinson, Havermittle for sure. I'm not sure about other.
The Yamaba does not, they don't own land, but they have an ancestral value to there, if that makes sense.
that makes perfect sense. That's what I wanted to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they,
That's-
I don't know why the other one, are you thinking Elan?
I don't know, it was in our documents because the documents has been there for a while, so I just took it from there.
I think it would just be Scotts Valley, see, yeah, it would just be Scotts Valley, Robinson, and Mental. There's no really, maybe Big Valley, maybe, because then, those would be, it'd be 3 tribes.
Okay.
Yeah, I can check into that further and provide you or provide the,
Because I want to be sure we're engaging all tribes.
yeah.
And that should be easy because you have the APN numbers.
Yes.
And so connecting that to who's the owners of those properties would be an easy way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And right now we're looking at, what was it again, 7?
Yes, 7 parcels.
For those 4 individuals, so, and again, it can have a full spectrum of some are already in trust, some are in the midst of becoming trust, and some are not at all. They're just fee, they're not even in the process of becoming trust. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
I don't think there are any in process right now.
It's either in or it's not. Okay.
For the tribal properties, I think it is 9 parcels because in 4 it says up there, but in the end, it is 9. So there was one owner, so it is like one parcel which is requesting higher compensation.
How much higher?
Higher, I think we just start there because we didn't have.
Because if it's within reason, we've done that.
I think it's unreasonable.
Which one is this again? I'm sorry.
I think this might be the Bloody Island.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That, yeah.
That would definitely.
Way higher.
They've been trying to, 1.2, 2.1, they've been trying to get
I thought it was like 1.6 at one.
something like that.
It's so ridiculous.
Okay, so there's nothing within reason higher
Yeah.
counter.
Yeah.
All right.
So this would be the one, unresponsive, decline, non-willing seller. We have 3 in total, 4 parcels.
So there's really 2 owners of pieces of Bloody Island. Where is in the spectrum of different pockets, where's the other owners? The other, a small part of Bloody Island is owned by somebody other than the greedy guy.
Okay, so I think, so right now, are you talking about the lower parts on the north?
It's
west
split,
side?
split north and south
Yeah.
property.
Because I know one of the parcels which is under process right now is adjacent or part of the Bloody Island itself.
So which category?
That's the very first one, like,
0041311 is one of them. 1311 is right here on the bottom.
yes,
That's the north part of Bloody Island. So basically where the ceremony occurs.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think they have already agreed to,
And the southern one is 1420.
So that's the ones that needs approval and board of supervisors.
yes,
Great.
yeah.
Oh, good, good.
And then the other one, which is probably on the one that wants overcompensation, is 1420, correct? Keep going to the one that's asking for higher compensation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
1420.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the southern one, and that's the one that has like the transmission wires going through and things like that.
Yeah.
At the higher level of Rhode Island?
No, I think the one we're looking
Yeah.
at, that's why it's on it, it's lower. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah, okay. But we still need them all, so.
So, yeah, so non-willing sellers are 3, but 4 parcels in there. And, oops, I think,
Can you go back one?
I think,
That's 30 total properties that we have discussed. And that's every property left
yes,
needs to be acquired.
yes,
Okay. And in a way, it's 4 non-willing sellers, because if the other guy wants a higher the other person wants a higher compensation than is reasonable, it kind of puts them in this section.
yeah,
I would add another slash of unresponsive, decline, non-willing, slash unwilling to negotiate, unreasonable, or whatever you want, just not, maybe greedy is not the right term to use.
We all understand. It's a clear communicator.
Okay.
I have a question. This is,
Hold on one second. I'm gonna ask if there are any questions first from board members regarding these updates on parcel acquisition.
I just would like a copy of this.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
there's a hand up too.
Any questions from the board? All right,
No, but you will send it to all of us?
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Angela.
All these parcels are based on the original, project area, right? I know there was discussion like last year with the validation study to extend some of the project area.
Are you speaking specifically about the bridge and the water flow?
I wasn't part of the meetings then, but I think there's, yes, of the parcels closer to the lake.
Yes, south of the project plan.
Right, so when you say there's 30 parcels left to be acquired, does it include those proposed new ones, or is it the original project
So
area?
I'm gonna look towards EJ. I believe that the property we're discussing that is south of the cutoff that would allow for the new flows to go towards the lake is something that there is a possibility of working with Robinson on, because I believe Robinson
Is it
has
next to the
purchased
lake
that
shore?
property.
I think they purchased one adjacent
I
to the.
thought I heard Luis talking about that.
No, there's one it's not there. It's over, on off 29.
Okay,
It's on the other side. So it's over by Bridge Harbor, which is, I mean, it has a,
okay, I thought it was just south of the cutoff, not on 29.
I know he's looking at one.
Okay.
Last time I checked,
Yeah.
it was sold by
Yeah,
Rosika.
yeah.
Okay.
That one still is Rosika's, yeah.
Because I know it's been brought to the Army Corps Engineer, and their knowledge of the fact that the flows are not, there's nowhere for the flows to keep going once
Right.
it's out of the project area. It kind of hits a landlocked.
So it needs to be included in the project area in some form.
And so
I
what,
think the Army Corps has to put it in before we
That's
spend it.
within the validation study, right? So that's what just, like, we could say there's 30 parcels, they're all in the original area, but the project might include a couple
Yeah.
more.
It needs to be.
After the validation study, is that all correct?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure that.
and I think it's just one more, if I'm correct. I'm looking at the Nice Lucerne cutoff. Those are large properties, and it would either be
Is that the, not the monks, but the
Yeah.
the Buddhists.
Buddhists? And they didn't,
They're they're the big unwilling in.
okay, and that's because they can't guarantee there'll be no hunting on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay,
So they're in.
So I'm
okay.
not able to share, but south, once you get past the bridge, there's only large pieces of properties. So once we figure out which property that the flows go through, which I'm thinking is either this one, oops, it means to touch my screen, which either is this one or this one, then it would allow automatic direct access to the lake. So we would only have to work with the one property rather than multiple properties.
Is that part of the validation study? Is that flow?
I know that I brought that up multiple times for them to recognize that that is a need to review. I have not seen whether it's in the update yet or not.
Okay.
And I believe that, at least based on me reading the meeting minutes, that on June 24th of this year is when they're planning to have it open for public comment, which I think this committee should absolutely submit our comments to.
Okay. There used to be validation study meetings you guys had, right? Like every other month or something?
There used to be and still continues to be, but I'm not a part of that anymore.
Okay.
I know Fernando has been, Fernando was here last month for our meeting, and he's been in communication with your department.
Yeah, I think right now they are doing the NEPA outreach meeting or whatever is required for them to complete that NEPA. And they are planning to do that meeting sometime in June. And they were here the last time, and I have it on the slide saying they did a site visit and we all walked through those areas.
That's right. Terry logs it in now to that.
Yes.
site visit.
Yeah.
There's some people that are looking to get into the meeting.
Oh.
I don't know if that's you that has host or somebody else. It just popped up.
Donna Makowitz is trying to get in.
Don't see anybody. Maybe she left.
She must have, because I've been admitting people.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Terry. Okay, there was a hand up supposedly. I don't see a hand anymore. Just want to kind of check in with everybody. Did somebody wish to speak on the property acquisition?
It's Terry. It was me. I had my hand up. I was wondering, because it seemed when you were having the discussion that you were looking at the screen, and I just wanted to confirm that we were seeing the same thing, but I think we are.
So on this screen, underneath the red parcel, the big red parcel to the south, I'm not sure which southern parcel will need to be purchased, whether it's the one directly to the south of the red or to the right of the one below the red parcel. But all of those parcels have direct lake access, and the flow that will come back once we have the historical flows put back into place in the Middle Creek area, we'll need one of those properties to allow the flows to navigate into the lake. And
They're both owned by the same person.
Rosita.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out, and we'll keep working on it, and we need to make sure it's within the validation study so that it can open up that project area to allow that property to be purchased.
Sorry, the digression.
Did we digress?
It's not.
No, it's not a digression.
Okay.
It's an important part of, I mean, we finished the project. Oh, crap, where's the water?
Oh.
That would be horrible.
So it's technically 30 parcels that still need to be purchased, plus or minus one property owner, 2 parcels.
At this moment, within the project area, we're allowed to work within.
Right.
There are 30 properties. The validation study may amend that number. It will not reduce it, but it will maybe add to it, depending on what the total validation study becomes.
So I have a question about the
Please.
validation study. There was some talk at one point that the validation study may also expand within the project boundaries based on the new 100-year flood data.
So I'm actually gonna pause that question. It's a good question, but let's talk about it under Army Corps of Engineers. This is property acquisition. EJ, would you like to take over the meeting as well?
The chair. Getting away.
I'm so sorry.
We're on 4.1 or 2.
Yeah, we are done with 4.1 as far as I'm concerned, unless there's further questions.
And we did cover non-welding salaries, next steps.
There is more because we do have a letter to discuss, that will be submitted to the board of supervisors.
All right, with 4.2, there's discussion, go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, so I think I already had this letter sent out. I don't know whether you had the chance to review that yet. But this is basically something which came up in our last meeting. Yes.
I haven't read my
Okay.
computer. Is it possible to share the letter
Yeah.
on screen so then folks can read it? It's a very small letter, so it's easy for them to go through it.
I read it from
Yeah, I have to.
And if I may share,
Mhm.
We also have, Don Smith from Adventist Health or Lake County Chamber, not sure what your representation here is.
Well, admin self,
Okay.
and then here with Redwood Trail Alliance as well, just anyways to trying to get a grasp and see the good work you guys have been doing. It's phenomenal.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, we'll be covering some of that when we get to 7.2. He's pulling it up right now. So as he's doing that, I'll just cover 5.1 because there's not really too much progression on that. They did have a Bloody Island forgiveness ceremony on the 15th or 16th or 17th, usually around that time frame. Everything looks pretty decent. I know that on one of the roads for reclamation, there's a lot of, what do you call that? Blackberry bushes, but that's the most I've seen really going down there. And as for, anything moving forward when it comes to parcel acquisition, when it comes to that, Bloody Island, as you said, we're looking to still want millions of dollars. So that's where we're stuck at. And so I'll just knock that one off.
How old is the property owner?
Well, Al Christensen passed a couple years back, so it's his daughter and then some other, so.
And then
Factor all that in.
they won't let anybody on TV do it for
Appraisal, okay.
So we will, if there's no questions on that, anyone online has questions about the Bloody Island property?
Just a brief question. Is Badon,
Badun,
does that mean island?
yes.
Okay, I've seen it in other places, that's why I kind of figured that's what it meant.
Badun is island and then Napoti is village.
Thank you. Awesome.
I love village.
We're hearing you online if you're not muted.
You gotta do.
All right, so it looks like we have the letter up. If you all can read it, can you see it online there?
And in Teams, they can zoom in
Okay.
themselves too.
Yeah, you can zoom in as
Yeah.
well, and we have a copy here. Everybody seems to have it on their computers, and then we have a live draft that we're circled around. So if you will, I'll give you another minute or two to read it, who's online, and then we'll come back. Go ahead, Bruce.
So, as far as the letter goes, I don't mind the letter itself. I would like to suggest a small change. Here it seems to give only one option, which is eminent domain. I think maybe approaching it so that it doesn't feel like, because eminent domain is a tough process for all parties. And I think that we should say, given the circumstances, the committee unanimously recommends that the Board of Supervisors either appropriate more funding to allow the purchase of these lands or initiate eminent domain process for the identified parcels, because maybe we would prefer to pay the 1.6 million or 1.2 million rather than going to court over such a sensitive piece of land. I think that given the Board of Supervisors options, which both lead to the same place, might be a more appropriate letter and less disturbing letter when the public sees it when engaging with the Board of Supervisors.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, it could cost more to do it.
Yeah, that's right. If it's gonna cost more to do it, then.
I wonder if there's a real simple way to say that it's a big idea. In other words, is it possible to pay a little more and avoid the expensive process? But I think the board should realize that that's what we're up to, is we want the other options. So your language is fine.
And maybe even say, or any other options that gives us the end conclusion that we're looking to.
Like the board encourages to explore other options to save taxpayer and project to ensure efficiency of the project or something like that. Should it be written to the board of directors or it's actually going to board of supervisors?
Supervisor. Board of Directors.
Board of Directors of the Watershed Protection District, they're actually the ones that are the project, in charge of projects.
The lawyer.
It's the same number of people, but that's why I'm just clarification.
I would say county council would let us know what's best, just because I think this is not a water project, it's a land acquisition outside of the water project that eventually might become a part of the water. So I don't know which one we should do, because we're not using the grant funds. If we were using the grant funds, then it definitely has to be the directors of the flood protection district. But here, it's more of a
Budgetary.
court proceeding that we would be potentially engaging with.
Well, I thought last time when we met with the lawyers about this, they said it was the Board of Supervisors.
Just in case, I think we should ask, just to make sure it's correctly.
County council is also still learning the directors and the board of supervisors too. It's like everything that comes up, so they're still learning.
It's the same people, but it's just funny.
What they call themselves.
Yeah.
And
And the
represent.
watershed protection district actually by the state has the legality to do these kind of projects in the watershed. Where it's the county board of supervisors is like lake specific, but I don't know when it comes to land. Because the county purchases land in other areas for other projects, so I don't know.
And they augmented.
It might even say in the letter too, like not the letter, but when the funding was given to us, who it was given to, if it was Watershed Protection District, or if it was, I think we go that route right there. So county council will be able to help determine that.
Yeah.
Or have a note, it's like this project is being managed by the district or something. Does the full project name need to be in there instead of just the abbreviated Middle Creek project? It's not like the full project name isn't mentioned in there.
The subject should have
Yeah, or there should be at least.
And I think Betsy had her, go ahead, Supervisor.
Just also, I hadn't recognized it, I apologize. The subject also, maybe not putting in the subject to initiate eminent domain, but status update and request for board or directors to take actions in accumulating difficult to acquire properties. I don't know, something along,
Initiate action, because you're not taking action, but you're initiating action.
but something along those lines.
Okay.
And then the actions can be described here. And of course, if you say and any other action available to the board of supervisors, that opens it up as well.
So this letter, I'm remembering the discussion from county council last meeting, is the first step in like 20,000 steps, but 20 steps or something that is just saying the board is approving the process amendment donating for non-willing sellers that have been approached before, right? That's the purpose of this letter. I'm just confirming. So the board is aware, yes, you can start down a pathway of eminent domain
If that's what they decide.
If that's what, yeah.
if the property owner still is there.
Right now, as we speak, the board, I'm not gonna say knows nothing, but Supervisor Crandall and I are the members of this committee. We know the inner workings of what's happening. This would be approaching the board saying, here's our status with the whole project. Here's our status with folks that are being a little bit more difficult to acquire their property and for the project to be completed. Here are some options you can take to help this committee finish this process of acquiring properties. You make a decision on how you wish to move forward. And at that one, we're not highlighting a specific option as being the option. It's up to the board to start making those decisions. And if the board chooses at one point to go into closed session, to start talking about any kind of court proceedings that we would initiate with a eminent domain, that's where it would go.
But this letter was one of the first steps that county council said
Yes.
before pursuing the eminent domain pathway that the board has to do. Right, okay, so just, it's checking that very first,
It's just the right process for us to take,
right,
because we are a representative arm of the board.
Yeah. Okay.
An advisory arm.
Betsy, did you have a hand up earlier and I seen it go down? Didn't know if you had something to add or question?
No, your conversation clarified my question. Thank you anyway.
Okay, excellent. All right, so is there anything else about this willing sellers, 4.2, I'll just say that.
are you doing signatures or it's just typed like that?
I think the chair will sign it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chair can, yeah, I'll just be chair. There's nothing else from 4.2. Didn't know if I know that I opened it up for Betsy, but if there's anyone else? Not seeing any, I'll bring it back and we will go on. I covered 5.0. Go ahead.
Can we make a motion to approve this being sent to the board of supervisors?
I will entertain, yeah, if you take the motion?
So I want to move to approve this letter as amended, where the subject line will request to initiate action on non-willing seller parcels. And then within the last paragraph, the committee unanimously recommends that the board of supervisors initiate action on non-willing seller parcels, including but not limited to, and then some of the actions that were stated earlier. So I move to approve this letter with the amendments and authorize our committee chair to sign.
I will second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right.
Thank you.
And then, so we covered 5.1 already. On to item 6, California Department of Water Resources, update and correspondence with Department of Water Resources. 1.
Yeah, so I think I've been checking with them about the thing we discussed in the last meeting, which included one about the additional funding. Also regarding whether we can use some of the contingency funds toward the property acquisition. So it's an ongoing conversation right now, so I don't have like a solid something to report right now. Yeah, I think that's about it.
So I'm sorry, so you did make a formal request?
I didn't send a formal request, but I'm talking with their project manager, and see what we need to do next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody online? All right. There's nothing else. Then I will go on to item 7, project area property maintenance, updates and next steps with project area property maintenance for.
So for the property maintenance, so we are, there's nothing much happened since the last meeting. But basically, like whenever we receive any complaint or any issues, whether it's the trash dumping or like boarding up the properties which has been acquired, we go out and check there, and resolve the issue as it comes. Yeah, that's about it for the maintenance.
And like I said, when I was out there just within 2 weeks ago, there wasn't really too much garbage or any type of break-ins or fences knocked down or anything like that. So seems to be okay. I'll have to double check it again just because every other week, you never know.
Yeah, that's true.
And so is there anyone online that wants to discuss 7.1? We have one? Okay.
Is there anybody?
I don't see anyone, so I'll bring it back and you can go ahead.
Is there any issues going on or this group needs to be aware of with the biochar project that's on one of the parcels that was purchased for this? I don't know. Does this group need to be, is there anything this would, because I know it was going to the planning commission. Did it get passed or not?
It's an appeal. So.
Okay, so nothing now. Okay.
This Betsy, that was my.
Go ahead, Betsy.
That was my question as well. This parcel that's involved with that biochar project in Upper Lake. There seems to be a whole lot more new difficulty with it. The West Region Town Hall meeting discussed some new requirements or something for an easement, but there have been a lot of complaints over time, and I've heard many of them, about the lack of maintenance on that, what is it, 40 acres or something like that? I'm sorry, what?
You're right. It was on the old vineyard part where the blackberry bushes are growing right now.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'd like to know whether that's in your list and where it stands for you know, for taking care of that problem. It's a problem for the community.
Yeah, I think we did look into that. We like if it's necessary, yeah, we will clean it out. But to me, it looks like it's a 40-acre parcel, and there would be little bits here and there. I mean, it won't be like super clean kind of thing. And even if we clean it, to me, it looked like probably the major cleanup should happen at the time when the project would be implemented. Because if it would be
Which project you're talking about? The
the Middle Creek project.
Oh,
because-
not yet.
Yeah, because even though whatever cleanup we do at this point, which right before the project is implemented or it's flooded out, there would be a proper cleanup of the site, just making sure that is inspected. I mean, multiple parcels at a time rather than being one parcel at a time. But right now, like we are doing it as we received the complaint and we did receive something about it. I did send out our crew to go and check it out. They were not even able to locate some of the things which were complained about. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's a 40-acre parcel, so quite spread out in there.
There's a couple of things too to mention is that one, not only is it already getting overgrown, and I understand we want to wait, but it'll be even probably way more harder than once it comes to the project. And so it might be better to have something done now to take care of it so that by the time it gets there, when it gets there, it won't be as arduous.
Okay.
And then number two, there was a statement brought up at the Worth that I'm glad that Betsy reminded me of this, because there was a statement made that the purchase of that property, because of the lease and because of this whole biochar situation, one of them who were doing the research, or one of them who were basically opposing the whole biochar situation, had found out or have some discussion with someone from the Department of Water Resources. I don't have the contact or the information on that. Had stated that because there was no conservation easement on that land, that we are in jeopardy of misusing funds or something like that. I don't even know if it's misusing, but if it's something of the like, it's like.
If it wasn't approved by DWR for the use of the property based on us purchasing it with their funds, that there might be a breach of contract.
Right, yeah.
But I think the biochar project was gonna, part of it is asking for rezoning, or like the use of it is considered under ag production or ag manufacturing or something.
Yeah, and I did had a talk with DWR regarding this, and I will be meeting with them today in the afternoon again.
To find out more.
To find out more
I'm
about
very
it.
comparative because there's really a sense of
Yeah.
assertiveness to that.
Yeah, so I'm just checking with them, making sure that this is like kind of allowed of what we can do with that, because the information presented was not very clear, because to DWR, they were assuming we are giving away the whole parcel, including the parcel which is within the project area, because that particular processing plant is outside of the 100-year flood zone. That's one thing. The other thing is it's only 5 acres compared to the 60 or 100 acres of the whole parcel. So they were not aware of these situations.
I think you said that was going to be an important meeting because if there is some sort of, I guess, breach or whatever when it comes to the contract, that really we would probably not even need to have the appeal hearing, because it would be something we'd have to look at. And I don't know if you eliminate it or whatever, but you still got, it's been posted already, so it would happen, but there would be no reason to allow our community to be in a hearing that would be quite contentious.
Yeah, and it might make the lease not like applicable anymore too.
Yeah.
It's too bad, yeah, before that lease was signed, it wasn't figured out, but in the past. Okay.
Right.
And then part of the community was pushing for the property to be put back into ag. That was another argument, so, which I know there's another item later on the agenda for that.
So no matter what, on both ends, there's always going to be an argument until either A, it's built, or B, or A, on the other side, it's not happening. So like.
Yeah.
Betsy, you still have your hand up. Did you want to add to that, or?
Thank you, EJ. No, I frankly, I couldn't understand most of what was being said. It's not exactly an echo, but between the conversation, I didn't understand it. But the feeling I get as an Upper Lake resident living here for 20 some years, in the last couple of years, I know there's been a lot of discussion about roads, and there's been a lot of discussion about major use permits and so forth. But basically, we get the same answers time after time after time. It's on the list. We're going to check it out. Whatever it is. I don't know what it would take to send one of your, like Chris Childers or somebody out there and just write up a punch list and see if you can't find a way to clean it up or whatever it needs. The parcel itself is a part of the wetlands. People don't understand the relationship between the northern part of the property and the southern part of the property, and how there's a lot of high feeling in the community that the county isn't being clear or dealing with this conflict. And so I'm just suggesting it would be a nice little simple thing to do. Thank you.
Let's go to Supervisor Sabatier, and then I see Daniela afterwards, after Supervisor Sabatier. I'll open it up to you. Go ahead.
And I'm wondering if maybe Water Resources might open up a relationship if it doesn't exist already, or reach out to either Tara or Clerk and see if that's an opportunity to deal with vegetation in a sensitive environment that we're trying to restore, that seems to go right along with the work that they do already. We have two great agencies that do a lot of good work throughout the county. They seem to have some funding already available to work with us, and we have funding as well. And so there's a way for us to contribute and build that relationship and see how we can help out and make sure that, we got to lead by example for things that we own, or else we can't expect other people to keep their properties in a way that we're not doing. So
Yeah, definitely. I will check into that. We'll get it resolved.
perfect.
The district has an MOU with Terra that already includes that work and includes that area. It's just they've already, at least in July or a few months ago, they already exceeded their funds. So
Well, maybe we have not exceeded our Middle Creek restoration and maintenance.
funds under the county purchasing ordinance.
Well, then they just need to bring us a contract. Yeah.
Did that cover it? Yeah. And then Daniela, I see your hand was up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Betsy was saying, but I would also like to remind you guys that I used to work for Water Resources, and this property, actually, we did make a plan when I was still with them, probably 2020, 2021, to get goats out there to manage the vegetation. And then I'm pretty sure I also mapped out all of the water spigots that are on that property, because before a fire can be put on that land for cultural burns, because I was also talking to Tara at the time to do a fire through there, that had to be mapped out to make sure that all the infrastructure was mapped. So documents are there at Water Resources. There was a plan in place. I even brought a contract to former Deputy Director Marina to get goats over there to manage that land.
And I think I did heard about that, but I think there was some technical issue. Like earlier, suppose it was 10 grand or so. Later on, it came out to be 30 grand because they moved the goods from here to Napa or somewhere. And I
We
think
have another guy that's out in Upper Lake that has goats.
okay.
We'll take any goats.
Yeah, most of the time, like it does seem like there is a process, there is a plan, but obviously it gets stuck somewhere because there was it was like some reason like why it was.
How much funds are left for maintenance in this project? I mean, I get that you have another slide too.
Yeah.
Would that be useful in knowing what?
We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Because what I'm thinking is regardless of project or not, or whatever, this still needs to be maintained. So if we could figure out the goats and get this maintained regardless of.
It's
project
gonna
or
be
not,
many years.
It's gonna be way.
Many years.
We need a continuous contract to cover that. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
Betsy, thank you for bringing that up because totally, almost was a pitch that got by. We need to be thinking about that. Yeah.
So there's two separate issues and they sort of got conflated.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just going to state also, the biochar is not anything that has to do with this committee or anything like that. So it is a contentious issue that with this property in mind is why we brought it up, and it's actually something that is needed to be done in the watershed protection district area, the flood zone, whatever the case may be. So again, that's why we're discussing it for anyone online and the public that's listening. All right, anything else from anybody? All right, we will move on to Middle Creek Trails, and I put this on. So I've been speaking with quite a bit of people when it comes to this, the group in Earth, a couple of folks from there, and wanted to talk more about this because I think pre your service and mine, like 18, 17 or whatever, there was a plan and partnership where they were going to conduct trails that were going to connect to all of the different paper parcels, things like that. And now that we're looking into the paper parcels, we're hoping that many of this can be attributed to this project as well, because they're looking at that low value ordinance and looking to get rid of some of those properties in these hills, the Cern Hills, all that stuff, really goes. And so if it can, like, I think the long term and hope is like Class Park can be a starting point in the Middle Creek restoration and all that good stuff, right? And I know that some folks are online, and I know Don, you're here too. But the other thing too is when talking about this with some of the folks, it makes sense because the property maintenance, when it comes to cleaning garbage and all of that, it really helps to have people on, on trails and whatnot to be able to just have eyes on the ground or be in the public so that people will be discouraged from dumping and things like that. It is basically a land that's going to be, untouched and for quite some time. So it might be something that's, a synergistic approach to trying to keep it in a good tact. So that's why I brought it. I know that the folks are on. I know that, Juan, thank you for putting it on. I know Don's here because that's the other thing. They've been talking about it in trails when it comes to the LCRA, Lake County Recreation Agency. And I'm an alternate on there. And at the meetings that I've been to, there's been a hope to kind of partner this with a lot of trails and other recreation activities. And I don't know, Don, if you wanted to add anything to that or.
Yeah, well, I think that and I know I see Holly on there as well, and the potential and possibility. And I'm sitting in catching up on conversations and seeing what's happening with the ultimate goal of greater access through trails, multi-use trails, if that's possible, but being able to expand that infrastructure for the general public, and then also to bring in and get people, allow people to begin to see the beauty of the county. But one of the best ways that you can, like you just mentioned, one of the best ways that you can maintain and keep areas up and presentable is that you have foot traffic, positive foot traffic that moves through that. And so, ultimately seeing, well done infrastructure, trail infrastructure that provides not only local individuals to move well through our resources, our natural resources, but also to build a platform that can invite outside of our county to come and see and partake and see the beauty of our county. So that's a big part of what we're trying to establish, and do it in a conscientious way.
So are you talking about on the near future or the ultimate design of the restoration?
Near in the meantime while we're waiting, but I'm going to go ahead. I see Holly's hands up, and Holly is one of the main drivers for this. So Holly, if you could unmute and kind of give a perspective, and I think that'll answer some of the questions you have.
Thank you very much, EJ. And I see a number of people on here who have been involved with many of this in the past. Anyway, my name is Holly Harris. Clear Lake Oaks resident for 25 years. I was on the original shoreline area plan. I'm on the current shoreline area plan. I'm also on the East Region Town Hall Council, and was one of the original members of Canocti Regional Trails. And of course, Terry, thank you for being there. Terry was instrumental on all of this too. So way back, Canocti Regional Trails started in around 2006, 2007. And in 2011, I think it was, the Board of Supervisors approved the KRT master plan. That master plan included the trail concept, which basically would connect Upper Lake to the Nease Lucerne cutoff via trail system going through the Middle Creek restoration area. Back in 2017, 2018, or actually in between, so say from 2012 to 2017, we worked with subsequent people at the county on these trails. And in 2018, we actually created a trails brochure called the Middle Creek Natural Area, which was a hiking trail utilizing the Bobst properties off Reclamation Road. So we created the trails brochure working with public services and with water resources at that time. The trails brochure signage was installed and the trail was included in the Konocti Regional Trails website. So we actually have a brochure that has been up there for years. And the concept we know that this is going to be flooded in the future, but in the future you're also thinking of putting trails on levees and kayaking, etc. So we were hoping to implement something easily and quickly with minimal trail building or anything. Basically, all we would be doing is utilizing existing trails. We've mapped out 6 or 7 different areas over there. I have about 100 pages of mapping out that I could forward to anyone. But anyway, the trails brochure was put out. It was online. And then when we were re-updating the website last month, it was getting launched, we discovered that that particular trail was removed at the request of Water Resources. So basically, what we're asking is that this trail be reopened, the public be given access, and that we are allowed to develop a conceptual plan connecting Upper Lake to the Nease Lucerne cutoff, which could be presented to you and the board as the Watershed Protection District. This is of real importance to a lot of the people along the North Shore. We don't have a lot of economic development that's available to us. The ability to be able to create the North Shore along Highway 20 as a recreational and environmental destination would be of huge benefit to us. It wouldn't cost a lot of money to do it. We do have support for that. The 3 MACs in EJ's District 3, which is Surthworth and Earth, have been working together to try to create a District 3 alliance, to work on things together to really expand what's going on in the North Shore. We think it could be great for economic stimulus. It's an educational tool on the Middle Creek restoration area. It's, I don't know how much more I can say about that. Just we really would appreciate having this back again and, being given the go-ahead to at least come up with a plan to present to all of you. Thank you.
Holly, thank you, and I think it's prime time, especially considering we're looking at the paper parcels, which I know that you and Chuck and others had a really big part in. I see Donna's on as well, and I know she probably would like to speak about how instrumental it would be for bird watching as well. And so I don't know, Donna, if you want to unmute and elaborate too.
Sure. Thank you, Supervisor. Donna Mack with Redbud Audubon. And we would definitely be interested in participating, doing whatever we can, volunteer bird hikes, bird watches, cleanups. So I'm very much in support of this project. Thank you.
Any questions from you had some? I'm sorry about that, Mary Jo.
I didn't know there was a trail. And how does is it behind the lock gates?
Oh, so they're looking at that area as well, because there's like levee tops and things like that. So that it would probably be also cutting them, if you will. Like that's another thing, cutting them. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but starting to walk on them, trailblaze. Holly, did you want to help me with that?
Sure. So basically, we do have a trail brochure. Actually, I had printed some off because I thought I might run into you at the dump days, EJ, on Saturday. And I was going to give them to you so people could see that. Not when I was there then. Anyway, what we have down there is actually just utilizing right now the dirt roads that are there. One could go off and use some of the levee tops, but the dirt roads are absolutely perfect the way they are. They're flat. The thing that's nice about this too is it's fairly flat. It's gorgeous. It's a mirror image of Anderson Marsh, you know, really in terms of bird watching and what's going on. It intersects with the Rodman Slough Kayak Trail that's down there. So basically, I'm more than happy to forward the brochure that we have out to you. It looks just like the water trails that we already have and the Mount Konocti hiking trail that we have. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there's not a lot that needs to be done to this. It's probably just some brush cutting, particularly along Reclamation Road.
Thank you for elaborating that, because I would have chopped it all up with the brush cutting thing, or not brush cutting, I'm sorry, with the trailblazing thing. That would.
So these roads are not behind lock gates.
I think they are right now, only because we don't want people to go out there and dump, but
Right.
yeah.
That's what I, so, and are we considering now or the future meeting?
Yeah, the future meeting, right, we're not looking to open them right away, are we, Holly, or?
Proposed for months, right?
Oh, actually, I'd love to open it right away, frankly. But I have to say, we had it open for years. I mean, it was put up in 2018, and it had been open for years, and people had been going. The one issue was we were not allowed to, Water Resources asked us not to put out a press release, so we weren't able to really splash it up so that people would know that they could go there. There are some gates, but the gates are to prevent vehicles from going there. You know, you can just walk around it. I mean, people are accessing it right now, I'm sure.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking too is if we start moving towards this direction, it's something we can partner with LCRA, and then LCRA can get that out there with us, or us here, and then also Holly, the group that you're working with for Konocti Trails, but whatever the case may be, that way we can get a good announcement out and people can know that there's, that there is an initiative for trails.
So is there, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I love the idea, and any amount of, allowing visitors or community members to find out more about our county and see more of our county, I think is a benefit. I know that I used to live right next to Anderson Marsh, and take a walk down to White Bridge, which is no longer there, every day, and the amount of trash that I would pick up every single day to bring it back, like human beings are just not clean creatures.
We're gross.
And so I don't want to stop it because of that, because then we do nothing, ever. But at the same time, I want to be wary about the current costs of maintaining something that is supposed to be part of a greater project. Once the greater project is over, I feel there's other opportunities for holding down the fort with maintenance costs. So like, I'm wide open for like a docent approach to making sure that it's a controlled way, not just open to anyone in the public. I'm open for the idea of being open to the public, but I'm nervous about the amount of maintenance that we would have to do when there's such little activity overall of even asking Water Resources to go out to the furthest reaches of this area. Yes, people are accessing it today, but if we start advertising and telling people, go ahead and take a walk and go enjoy and do this and do that, that it would just add more to the whole thing. So I'm not against it. I just wanted to share my caution to our approach to this. And if it was docent, I would be 150% behind it. If it's open to the public, I'd like to better understand how we can make sure that it's done appropriately so that there's little to no burden on Water Resources. Because human activity, you can have a wonderful event in the park. Holy smokes, go check out the park when that event is done. It is pretty disgusting.
Well, it's like Highland Springs. There's a caretaker that's literally staring at people and they still destroy the area. And light fires and shoot off guns and stuff. And that's somebody like right there on the hill watching them.
And it's still other people's properties.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Don't own all the property.
Some of them are still other people's properties.
Yeah, well, I think the areas that we're looking at are just on the roads too, so that'll take care of that, but at the same time, I hear you on that.
So is there when I'm going to Upper Lake, I can see like a gate on the levee for the creek. Is that the beginning of the trail?
Which area?
As I'm heading, after I go to the roundabout, and I'm heading towards Upper Lake, after I cross the creek, and looks like there's a gate there. And it looks like there's a path along the way.
No, no.
The only gate I'm aware of is if you take Reclamation Road, you can take a left, which has the gate,
Yeah.
or you can take a right, which leads you further down back towards.
We should wait until you have the brochure and the committee can go through exactly what those trails are.
Yeah.
Especially because it was made 2019, you said, Holly?
18.
18.
It was 2018, and basically, Bruno, you are correct. When you go on Reclamation Road, if you go to the right, there's a gate. And people were going, walking around that, and it walks around that perimeter. So it's in the center of the entire Middle Creek Restoration area. It is solely on properties that are not private property at the moment. A little spur goes up and connects with Rodman Slough. And then we were hoping to be able to connect down to the old Montanos property in order to get down to the cutoff. And so basically what we're asking is for the ability to be able to come back with a plan for all of you.
Be happy to see that plan.
Yeah, and I think that it gives, if we can get the plan, I apologize for not meeting up with you to have that, the brochure. But it also gives us time to allow for Recreation Authority to have this as a partnership or something like that. And then even anyone else, I know that Donna had stated that she'd be willing to be a partner on this. She has her hand up too. Donna, did you want to add?
Yes, Donna Mackwitz again. I actually took a group of Upper Lake High School students out to the Reclamation Pond area to birdwatch, and Supervisor Rasmussen came with us also. So, and again, I love the docent idea. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
So she's a
and by the
key-
way,
Yeah.
when we were out there, I saw 2 foxes too, and so did Brad.
2 boxes?
The kids
Fox,
in them.
yes.
You don't see those birds too often.
Oh, foxes.
Oh, and then, okay.
We have kittens in them.
This whole season.
What was I going to say?
Sorry, I forget.
I got a little distracted by foxes.
Is there plans for parking, an area with signs, trash cans? I know it has Springs, you have a sign, like access at your own risk, things like that.
Yeah, I think that's
If there's any.
next time
Okay.
we have a plan.
So I'm very interested in seeing the plan. What I'd like to know is, can you have a conversation with the Army Corps and just kind of check in, does this plan create any kind of pushback? Or is this something that we can go ahead and move forward with? It sounds like we've been doing it in the past, but we are also not really engaged in the same way with the Army Corps. So I just want to make sure again that we're not stepping on the toes of those that are going to help us move this project forward.
Sure, sounds good.
Betsy and then Daniela.
Thank you, EJ. Yeah, I have 3 comments. One is, and Holly, I don't know exactly where those trails are, but don't forget that we have a substantial amount of fire breaks that were created during the ranch fire when it started to come down towards Lucerne. I don't know if any of those dirt roads are also associated with those fire breaks, but those are maintainable without having to have a CEQA clearance because they were created during an emergency. So if you can take advantage of that, Clerk has been coordinating a lot of those projects with the U.S. Forest Service. Secondly, of course, there is the margin, the fringe of the National Forest, where the prior to the current federal budget problems, the Forest Service has a 10-year plan for restoring the oak woodlands in the margin between the Douglas fir elevations and the lower elevations that are approximate to the towns. in the wildland urban interface. And that is an extraordinary, would be a tremendous addition for us. Donna and I both pretty fanatic about oak woodlands, but the Forest Service is highly aware of that, and they've focused their whole lower elevation restoration project on oak woodlands, which are really beautiful. The third thing is, you know, I again, having lived here for almost 25 years, very familiar with the problems with trash and the problems with the access and all the different vulnerabilities that we have. I know just about every inch of the hills in Upper Lake, Nice, and Lucerne. You know, there've been these discussions about gates and protection of the access and so forth. There's an element of a stigma about you know, the predominance of the negative culture in District 3. I run into this all the time. It would be something, I don't know, I'm just raising that as a concern for, you know, the fears. I think the approach that Holly has been espousing all this whole time of recreating our North Shore communities as a recreational destination, and connecting the community to the absolute whole entire focus of everybody's lives for the last 50 years here, which is the restoration of Clear Lake. I'd like to just to be sensitive to that and help us overcome that stigma. Thank you.
Daniela?
Besides Army Corps, talking to them, you're gonna have to talk to DWR since they're the ones maintaining the MA-17 levees, and they probably want that gate locked for a reason.
Not allowed in if you have a shovel.
Holly?
Oh, hi. Originally, we were working with Department of Water Resources, with Holly Grover, and some of the, I can't remember the names, you know, at the time. But yeah, we would be, you know, very happy to do all of that. I do know that they gave us some code information from Water Resources, which actually allows bicycling on levee tops, which is not what we were asking for. So that's something that is somewhere in their code.
If there's nothing else from public, I will bring it back, and it looks like we've covered everything there. We'll look at getting the document. We'll get, you guys will probably talk about it at LCRA.
And we'll circle back with Holly and make sure whatever we do to support.
Okay.
And bring that back to you.
And then you can go on to look up the other things that he wrote down about different areas. And
I have a question, sorry, I stepped out, I don't think you covered it, but in the trails, the new trails, the 20-year plan for trails in Lake County, is there a chapter that references this? Because
I
it's a
have,
county document that describes it, that's been approved through the process, that'll help when you're talking to state agencies or partners.
yeah, let me go back. I've talked with Lars about this quite a bit. Lars was originally worked with us to, you know, get this trails thing going. I was not working with it for a couple of years just because of our business. I could not devote the time, and I'm retired now and back looking into everything. I also want to say someone does have their hand up that has been skipped over for quite a while.
who's that? Is that Betsy?
It's Margot.
Oh, Margot. Sorry, I don't see your name up there. I only see a couple names.
On the trails master plan. I was only on.
Margot, did you unmute?
That'll be a barrier.
All right. So, to move on.
Yeah.
So,
Is she in the meeting with her hand?
No, I can see it. I don't know why it's only shows. Oh, yeah.
Mic is not working.
Okay.
Okay.
Margot might not know where the mute button is because in Zoom or in Teams it's different than Zoom. So it's at the top right hand corner, just to the left of the leave button.
All right. When we get to 13, if she's not unmuting, when we get to 13, I'll open it up for her to speak again if she can get that figured out. We're only on item 8, so we'll move on to 8, Army Corps of Engineers. Go ahead, go on.
Yeah, so Army Corps of Engineers came down here for a field visit on May 6th. They met with CDD, Community Development Department, regarding their NEPA scoping meeting. From Terry, from the admin office, water resources, two members from the water resources and couple of, I think they were 3 of them who came down here, and we did a site visit, walk through the whole project area or wherever they had some questions about, like where the water gonna be or where whatever area they wanted to have a look at. Basically, we took them all that area and they had a pretty good idea about the project itself, because I think their team is new as well. So that happened on May 6th, and I think they are planning to do on-site like a meeting for public to attend and have any comments or anything like trails and loose ends can be brought up in that meeting as well. So yeah, that's forthcoming. I think it's towards the end of June sometime.
Was that the June 24th? Is that what you mentioned?
I think that's when their documents come out on June 24th, which
Okay.
would make sense that that's when they also want to do a public hearing or a public town hall or of sorts to kind of convey that information.
How will the public know about it?
I think,
Go ahead, go ahead.
I apologize, please.
yeah, I think they're gonna post it at public places, make sure it's posted wherever our agenda get posted.
Put it on your Facebook too.
You'll send it out to
Yeah,
this
we will-
committee listener?
We will put it out on our Facebook page.
Yeah, I want to be sure I know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because if not, I will go to my town hall and I won't.
You'll be like, what?
Yeah.
I believe in our meeting minutes, it talked about how they're working with water resources to figure out what the best way to do outreach is, because we don't want them to believe that's the right outreach. We want to make sure we give them examples of what would be the appropriate outreach and the appropriate venues and things.
Yeah,
like that.
and we had that discussion when they were here. So they came down here, we had a 2-3 hours meeting on here at the conference room on the 3rd floor. And then we went out for a site visit.
Okay, so I'm glad they're working with local members,
Yes.
just making their own idea of what's the right way so they can check the box.
Yes, yeah.
It's like,
All right, Terry, did you want to add? Don't see your hand up.
Now try. Yeah, thank you. I talked to Daniela and she has tentatively reserved Habematol's Community Hall for the public meeting, which during the tour said they were planning to do it July 9th.
Which is about right, yeah.
thank you, Terry.
So if the date gets changed, then they'll have to find another room. So if anyone has a room and it wants to have Army Corps, let Puan know.
A room like to meet in?
Yeah, for public meeting, public
Yeah.
scoping.
Okay,
If it's not on the night.
I can work it out.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hey.
Are you commenting on Army Corps?
This is Tom Lasik and Margot. We finally were able to
Yeah.
get through the technical challenge on the previous topic. So if we're allowed to go back to that, I can be quick or I
I
can
don't
wait.
know if we're finished. Let's finish with Army Corps and we'll see from there.
Thank you.
All right, anything else in Army Corps? Go ahead.
Just one thing, when the document comes out for the validation study for the public comments, if we can make sure to get access to a link so we can start reviewing it, I think that our following meeting I don't know if it's too late, so maybe we need a special meeting, but I think that this committee, within the public comment period, should absolutely be submitting, its approved comments. And I have full trust that you could do your own comments from the water resources perspective, but I think there's a purpose for this committee, and I think it would be to make sure that we put our eyes on it and provide you our feedback as well. So I hope that we'll have the time, and if not, I'm open for any kind of special meeting that will lead to it first, that we can provide that letter, that feedback to the Army Corps.
It's 90 days, right, for comment period?
I don't know what
The last federal document does 9 days, hopefully. Okay. Hopefully that would give you guys enough time to have their August meeting.
So we would be able to do it in August, or you think we gotta have?
We don't know, it depends on the comment period.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Once it comes out, I'm gonna send it out to the committee and see like if we need to have a meeting before that.
Yeah, point don't have a deadline of when the public comment.
Yes, yeah, because our next meeting is August 4th, so if it is after that, maybe we do it on that, but if it is before that, we can call a specific meeting.
All right.
Love it.
So there's nothing else on Army Corps. Betsy, you still have your hand up. Is it Army Corps or is it just that? Okay, not seeing anything. So I'll close the Army Corps. I'll bring it back, close the Army Corps, and do real quick, do we have anything on PG&E? Because if we do,
Just a brief update, if you don't mind. We got a response from Jason Tarmino, who is our government relation point of contact at PG&E. He requested copies of letters during this meeting. I have submitted copies of those letters. And so we'll be able to continue that conversation, and hopefully that will open up whatever it is that they need to be able to move forward.
anyone on Zoom wants to talk about, PG&E? All right, I'll close that. Do we think we have legislative? No, any legislative from anyone else? No, okay, so we'll close legislative. I know that project funding is gonna be something we talk about, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back real quick to open for Trail 7.2. Due to the technical difficulties, Tom and Margot.
Yeah, thanks, EJ. This is Tom Lasik. I just wanted to emphasize just how important it is to have trails in order to reduce the amount of dumping and trash that you might find here in rural areas. I live on the backside of Highland Springs Recreation Area. I've lived there for 25 years. I can tell firsthand that the amount of dumping, the amount of car abandonment, that is dramatically reduced as more and more people have been enjoying the park. So I do believe that trails in that area will actually reduce the amount of trash and dumping. I do agree that humans, by their nature, can be just terrible slobs. But I think it's a matter of what kind of litter and to what magnitude. Someone dropping wrappers is one thing. People pulling up with their pickup trucks to unload 3 years of refuse because they couldn't get to the transfer station is quite another. So I do believe if you can get those trails open, you would see not only improved recreation and enjoyment of the area, but also less maintenance. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that comment. We're gonna go ahead and close that and move on back to our agenda to item 11, project funding. Come on.
Yeah, so we had this one for the last couple of meetings, but for this one, we updated it to the Q3 of fiscal year 24-25. But because there is not much progress in terms of acquisition, this funding is for like acquisition broken down into different categories we use it for. So basically, it's more cost toward the administration, which is the managing for the project and the processing we are doing for a couple of the paperwork which has already been prepared to go to in front of Board of Supervisors.
What is the amount in maintenance?
There's about $350,000 left, it looks like.
is the blue one completely filled or not filled at all?
0%.
Okay, thank you.
Hydraulic mitigation.
Yeah, which
And
we
contingency
talked about that
is
at a previous
0%.
meeting. You asked what that means, and that's
See what
for anything that needs to be done on the ground for flow.
Presentation.
Right.
Get it bigger.
Yeah, this is really hard to.
You go to presentation.
There we go.
Thank you.
Us all people have to really.
It's good to
It's hard to
stand up.
speak.
That's good. Mitigation. Okay, yeah.
So groundwork has a lot, contingency is at 0, and hydraulic mitigation is at 0.
Yeah, so right now,
I don't see the 0% on the yellow, sorry.
yeah, no, so I think right now, so this is because it's, if you see about the equation cost, which is the task 3,
Orange.
orange one, so out of 8.9 million, 6.7 has already been used.
Mhm.
And right now we are processing 4 parcels.
Mhm.
And that 4 parcels totals about $3 million, but we only have 2 million left there. So we are using as part of contingency out from the contingency and add it up there, because if the funding acquisition cost is coming to an end, I think contingency makes sense. It's spending till like if the DWR is okay with that.
And you started those discussions.
Yes.
You said that in last meeting too, right? Like that was the purpose of contingency to help fill in.
The last meeting, they were here on the meeting itself.
And they're the ones who advised looking at the
Yeah.
contingency.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, that's the status of the funding right now.
So is there plans to use up the groundwork and hydrologic mitigation before the grant expires?
Yes.
That under groundwork or maintenance? That would be maintenance.
Oh, okay, yeah, groundwork would be like the septic system, there's septic systems in there, right?
I feel like groundwork is like research, like groundwork's pretty broad. Like what is that described as? That could be getting information from the property owners. It could get, groundwork for, EIRs, is there cultural stuff? Is there
So
environmental?
it's written in a document which is proposed to DWR. I don't remember on top of my head, but I think you should have access. If not, probably I can share that document which says what are the different
Is this
things are. Yeah.
2027? Is this when it expires?
28.
Okay, so we have 3 years, well, 3.5 years to figure out how to spend down those categories.
And I think it's not even fixed to that. Like if it comes to saying we have substantial left in that, we can move it within categories and use it for parcel acquisition. Or, I mean, yeah.
And that was gonna be my comment. I don't know with groundwork. You said, yes, it's being planned to be used. I don't know what the plan is, but if there's a way to redirect any of these amounts, because acquisition is our number one
Yes.
priority. If there, and obviously we're running out of money, contingency is gonna go from 0 to 100 really fast with what's left. And we still have, after the 4 parcels, with the 4 individuals with the 10 parcels, that still leaves 20 parcels, or at least 16 that we can acquire using this grant. The other 4 are non-willing sellers or unreasonable sellers. So those 16 we're gonna have to figure out where to get the funding. Do we have we started the conversation about asking for more money?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, they suggested in the last meeting, they were here that there might be some other sources where they can put some additional money, but it won't be like all the money we need, but little bit more than what this grant provides.
Some is better than
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah.
Is it possible for the next meeting to get a copy of what the agreement describes each of these categories are? Because if you're asking for more money, but then they see there's categories that haven't been spent down, again, you can make your plan for at what point do you shift those funds to acquisition? If we haven't spent, unless there's some requirements like that we have to meet in groundwork, and that's why that much money was allocated or something. Is there a way to get that for the next meeting so everybody knows
And my
what?
suggestion was move the money within the range, but with the 20 properties left that we have to purchase, it's gonna exacerbate all.
Right.
It's gonna expire all of these funds. We're still gonna need more money at one
Right,
point,
right.
so. Please be flexible and find out what your flexibility is within the context of the money that we have. But I think that we need to start talking about more money sooner than later, because with 20 more parcels and only so many millions of dollars left, it's gonna extinguish those funds.
We have willing sellers that haven't been approached yet, that are willing to sell, and I'll talk about that more later, but yeah, so we can get some of this spent.
So, yeah, maybe some of that work is part of groundwork.
Yeah.
And so that can just be morphed into, it's not a whole lot of money, but that can be morphed into the acquisition. Like, I just don't know what groundwork is and there's money left there. And when you go and ask grants for more money, you have to describe what you're, how you're using the money that they gave you beforehand.
My thing died, so.
That's frustrating.
Okay, so, if there's any questions?
Would have died too.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of money in administration, and part of that was to get some assistance, to get another technician working on this project. Right. Anything happen?
Yeah, right now that position is advertised and we have put it in, or we are planning to put it in our Facebook page as well.
It is, I thought, it's
Oh.
advertised, yeah, it looks good, it's out there.
So yeah, I mean, we definitely need some help. It's, for me also, like, it's kind of pretty tight all the time, just to handle directly everything. But it also has to be somebody who has a little bit experience or a little bit done something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Caltrans, any updates on Caltrans? See any online, public expression, and that's where I'll start out. If there's anyone that wants to speak for a couple minutes here, 3 minutes, and talk about something that has to do with the project, we'll go ahead and open it right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start out with, I had something written on the deal. I had bought some strawberries from Seychow Farms, it's Seychow and, Santana. And, I was looking at it, I was talking to the young lady who said she said she hasn't been approached, but they're willing sellers. And so, if there's a way we can get someone to reach out to them that way, because I know that there's other intricacies about it that they need to talk to Water Resources about. So it'd be really ideal, because that's
Impossible.
what's that?
How is it possible there's any parcel owner in the project area that has not been?
I'm just telling you what she told me.
No, I think they have been approached, their attorney or like their gave me a call last week sometime. I talked with them. So that is one of the property which is under review by the county council to be presented to the board. So I think most of the paperwork has been done. As soon as the board signs or the chair signs it, I think it would be presented to the property owner.
Daniela, is that what you were gonna say?
I mean, that's not the point. Like, they haven't been contacted at all, and they don't even know that this is going to the board to get accepted or not. And I've brought this up at several meetings already. And as of right now, they're basically like, well, yeah, we're willing sellers, but the county's taking forever to even just contact us to give us updates on the progress of the properties. So they're going to continue to farm and keep farming on all of those parcels that they own, because that's their livelihood. And they're not going to have like a contingency plan when the county comes, Water Resources directly, and they're like, all right, well, we're ready to buy your land, but then they're still farming and they're going to continue to farm. So you guys need to have that as a contingency plan too, and really start looking at, if you are going to buy and make those agreements, then how long is it going to take? Is it going to be within this grant cycle, or is it going to be the next grant cycle? And communicate that to the property owners.
So are you talking about the one which has property being appraised and everything, or for somebody?
The Seychow properties. The Seychow properties.
Yeah,
So let me finish. Let me finish. So a couple meetings ago, I came and was like, hey, they haven't been contacted at all within like more than a year, probably close to 2 years. And so then you guys went through your process because DWR sent them back because they said the appraisals were wrong or whatever, or they need to update those. And they updated them, but then you guys were not contacting them. Been getting their information from me because I'll attend these meetings every once in a while to see if there's been any progress for the tribes properties, and there hasn't. So then I'll let them know, like, hey, has the county contacted you guys at all? Been in communication with you at all? And they're like, no, we still haven't heard anything, and we haven't heard anything from Monument either. So they're trying to plan ahead for when do they need to stop farming on their Upper Lake lands and start planning to move everything.
Yeah, that's what she told me too, and also that whoever's working at Monument or wherever, there hasn't been any contact. And so, yeah, that's the issue as well.
I think, yeah, we contact through Monument, I don't think I contact them directly. And I admit that the process is slow, like I was initially expecting that we will have that paperwork and everything processed into the Board of Supervisor maybe a month ago. But because there is back and forth or the comments or some issues, language need to be resolved, it is taking a little bit longer.
This has been an issue from before I was on this committee, when I was just the public. You're not talking to the property owners. They don't know what's going on year by year. I mean, yes.
And I don't disagree. I forget who the first one before we ended up going to Monument was, but Monument is our second contractor. We struggled with our first one. They ended up hiring the people from the first one, so we ended up with the same people again. And I don't know, I don't have the contract in front of mine. But and you're right, why should you be doing the work that we're paying someone else to do? But obviously they're not doing what we are expecting. I don't know if it's within the confines of the contract, but they should be contacting every month, every 3 months at the very least, and saying, we are still in process with the state. Please contact us if you have any questions. Like, you don't have to have a conversation, just an email update, no update.
Yeah.
EJ, how many times have we had fires that you walk into the evacuation center, you're like, sorry guys, I'm just here to let you know, there's no update right now. We'll let you know as soon as we can. People are like, oh, thank goodness. Like, even no update is a good update.
We know that it's still on the table. I mean, that's how.
And I think we need to hold their feet to the fire, that they need to be more communicative. I don't want to put this on you, but you or your department needs to hold that contract accountable, because no contact, but yet we're paying them.
Yeah.
And it's this slow, seems a little, I don't want to say abusive, but I'm going to say abusive.
Yeah.
Wrangling consultants is hard. It takes work. That's why you're trying to get a part-time person.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be their job, is to. either
Yeah,
contact them.
definitely that's part of it. And then when their attorney called me last week, I did explain them the whole situation, so they were kind of understanding of that. But I can see, obviously, I mean, if they were wanting to sell it, yeah.
I think that if possible, before these meetings every 2 months, I think if we can get them to make an update so that when we have these, we know the last update, if that makes sense. You were saying every 2 months or 3 months?
Yeah, whatever is the case, yeah.
I think if it's possible, I know that you're strapped and you're trying to find the person to do it, but it just helps us so that we can get a wrangle on this. You know?
Yeah.
Do they do updates to the committee? For other board appointed meetings, we have consultants do updates directly to the committee,
They've been here before.
like, not in 6 months.
No, I think I will check with them, making sure they communicate or like, at least like every couple of months or 3 months or so, they will be notified.
My personal opinion is simple email to Monument saying, please CC me in your communication.
Yeah.
And then you know if they're communicating with them.
Okay.
If you don't see it, then they're not communicating, and we can have another conversation. If you see it, then tell us communication is occurring. But at this point, we're kind of putting it on them, and they're just kind of hiding in their office or at home, wherever they're working from. And we're paying them to do work that is arduous, but it's also very, very slow.
Okay.
And so I know that I opened that up for public expression, but I just wanted to make sure we had that topic covered. I don't know if anyone online has anything to add to public expression. Betsy, go ahead.
I just want to say that it's outrageous to attend these meetings year after year and hear the same thing over and over again. Oh, the contractor didn't contact them. Oh, well, then we have to remind the contractor. I mean, this is unacceptable to the public. I'm sorry.
Do you want to respond?
I don't disagree, but when we do RFPs, we don't get many choices in who to work with. And we have to, and we need to hold their feet to the fire, but at the same time, we're not giving a grand choice of who to work with. And we've tried. And that's how we ended up with Monument. And again, they hired the same people from the prior Paragon.
Paramount. Is it Paragon?
Paragon, yeah. it was-
Paragon.
It's a combination. Paragon.
So I don't disagree, but at the same time,
Well,
That's why having them attend public meetings and be accountable to the public is so useful. When we did clean water program, every consultant we had meetings at the public meetings and presented what they did, why they did it, and I also put up how much it cost and what the tasks were, and that could be the same for this. Suggestion from the public during public expression.
but hopefully it's as simple as that, and that way it helps you to keep track if they CC you, that way you don't have to do more, but you can still kind of watch how our contractor is behaving. If I may express, I know Daniela spoke very personally about the land that we're talking about. I do not want to see any kind of disruption in what they're doing on the land, because that would be an economic downfall for those who are owning that land. I don't know if it's family and others, or if it's just family. So that would not be my expectation, to pull the rug from under their feet. And that hopefully we can find a good process to A, acquire the land, and B, maybe even allow the continuation of the use of the land while we wait for this process of the validation study and the project to actually happen.
That's what I was thinking as well, so I'm glad you mentioned that, and I know that's what Danielle was being concerned, and their main concern was, is what do? We don't have backup, we don't know anything.
Yeah.
So that works.
And those are all things we can incorporate in whatever agreement we end up with.
With that, we'll move on to the next item. Non-time items, I see something up there, I just can't read it.
None.
All right. Next item, next meeting, I think it is, yeah, August 4th, 2025, 10:30 a.m. And that's.
In this lovely room.
Well, yeah, great, we'll do this lovely room again.
Did you go upstairs too?
No.
He ran upstairs.
Yeah.
You gotta exercise.
All right, well, thank you everyone for attending. And we will see you at the next meeting. And I know that there'll be like some sort of email update I know in July. And we'll learn more from there too. So thank you again. We'll adjourn this meeting.
Thank you, everyone.
So I sent you the actual letter.